I have lemon peels here, orange peels, UV bags, cinnamon bark because I make cinnamon bark water for tea. And after I use the cinnamon bark, I leave it out here. You can see this is the window, so I leave it out here in the sun. I also have eggshells here, which some of the eggshells I use for my compost, dry compost, and some I use for my microgreens. And I have like broken cinnamon bark here. You can hear how dry everything is here. And then I put a little bit of salt, coarse salt at the bottom to help the process a little bit more. I don't want to put too much salt in here because I plan on using my dry compost for when I'm camping and I have to make a pool in the forest or the woods. So this is a dry compost. And I was going to put the fruit in here, but I thought maybe I should put the fruit peel separate. So that's what this container is for. And also, this is a Tupperware container, but this is a container that had food in it before, and I'm reusing it to store my dried fruit peels in here. And yeah, and also when I use, this is a cocoa peat, so you can see here's the dried out stems from the microgreens. When I finish using, when I take off the microgreens, I leave it here in front of the window in the sun to dehydrate, and then I'm going to add this cocoa peat to here to increase my dry compost. When I burn my incense, I use the ash from that, and I also put it in the dry compost. Um, so yeah, everything is literally like the circle of life. So yeah, I use the compost peat, or the compost peat, sorry, the cocoa peat to grow the microgreens. After I use the microgreens, I let the microgreens dry out in the cocoa peat, and then I put it into my dry compost. This is my first batch here, and this is an old incense batch here that I moved from there. And these are the leftover seeds that didn't bud. This coriander here, these are not what I use for my microgreens. These actually came in a pack, which I will show you here. Hold on a second. They came in here. So when I get these, and I got them on sale at the supermarket, when I get these on sale at the supermarket, I use them in my cooking. I soak them and make a tea out of them. And with the tea, I use it for a base for my curry. Then I drain the water uh, before I add the lentils, and I leave them also here in the sun. And then I just, whenever I'm sitting, standing, or walk past them, I just crunch them like this. So when I plant them, they won't regrow and they can break down, because I was watching a video on compost making, and they said the smaller the pieces, the faster the compost. So I just come and I break everything down, and I have a separate set of coriander seeds that I use for microgreens. I will show you. Here are my microgreens. Yes, here. These are my coriander seeds that I use for microgreens. And I also, whenever I eat pumpkin seeds, I leave them out to dehydrate and to get all the water out. And you see here it's the empty shells, and I'll add this to my dry compost. Uh, so yeah, and all of these, what I do is, because it's easier to break the cinnamon bark, see, when it's not completely dry but mostly dry, and I break it, because I tried using my toenail clippers and I broke my toenail clippers, so that's a no. So I just break it like that, take like a piece like this, and just break it like that, and then it comes out like this. And then I'll just let that sit in the sun, because sun exposure helps things compost also. And so yeah, so when I go out, because before I start camping, I want to have this full. And so what I'll do is I'll take, these don't have any metal, like they're not stapled closed. But if I see any staples, I'll take those out because I don't want to put any metal in the compost. And yeah, these are all fine. These are just tied with string. See? And oh yeah, also I took the paper ends, like the labels off the tea bags. They don't go into the compost because I was reading that paper with color on it is that's not good for the compost. So this the red is not good, like the green and whatever color is not good for the compost. So I take anything that has like ink in it because it's not the color, that's the ink in the color. So I take that off, and you see the staple is on there. So we don't want that to go into the compost. So I take that off, and then this here, this patch that you see here, this is mint tea. I'll show you. This is this tea, and after I finish drinking my tea, I strain it, and then I put these leaves. So everything is used a minimum of twice. There's just some lentils on the bottom. I drink my tea. The tea nourishes me. Then I leave the tea leaves here to dry out in the sun. Once they're completely dry, I add them to the dry compost bin, and then I'll use that and put it back into the ground to hopefully grow more tea or fruit or coriander or limes or lemons. But yeah, so let me just, I can actually add that now to the dry compost pile. And then once this is empty, I can add more cocoa peat and grow more microgreens. And this here is my hand tool set. I'm going to go over it later. That's why I wanted to make this video, because I need to clear this area so I can open the packages and get to work. So yeah, and that's it. Also, I have a toilet paper roll, but I'm going to keep that out of the dry compost for now because I was watching, who was I watching? One of these gardeners, and they said that cardboard is good, but you don't want to put too much cardboard. So I would just add a little because I have this long piece of cardboard. I want to take the plastic off and use this in the compost too, but I want to wait till I have a bigger pile, or just add a tiny bit of compost. And like this, I need to take this out and break it. So I don't want to push too hard on here, but I'll break this. And yeah, that's making my dry compost. And the eggshells, I don't add too many, because I don't want it to, they don't stink, the eggshells, because they're all dried out. The only thing I can smell is coriander and little cinnamon. So I just break those up like that. And even the lemon peels, they're getting hard. I can show you, see? Once they start you making that sound, then you know they're good. They're getting dehydrated. So, yeah, because they used to look like this. Now they look like this. They're dehydrating. Yep. And then here. And then I'll add that. They'll be separate because I eat oranges and lemons. So they'll be separate because you don't want to put too much citrus in the compost. Some people say it's okay. Some people say it's not okay. So I just add, you see, compared to the other ones, it's just a tiny bit. I don't want to add too much to it. Okay, and that's it. So hope this guys help you. This is my first time actually doing dry composting. Yeah, and later when I have somewhere, like when I go and I'm on the farms, I'll do like wet composting. So yeah, ciao for now, y'all. Bye.